What's up, everyone? This is Lane from TrendFriend. I just wanted to go over how to change your time frames on your charts, as well as give you a couple of tips and tricks on this stuff. So up here at the top left of your screen, you're going to see if you don't have any of these favorited yet, then you're probably just going to see the time frame of whatever your chart is currently set to. So you can see I'm on the 1 minute chart and 1 minute is highlighted. But all of these are up here because I favorited them. So if you click the little drop down there, you can see the favorite icon there on all the ones that I personally like to use the most. So that's all you have to do. You can see 10 ticks here. If I were to click that, then it adds 10T to that favorite list. So I can easily switch back and forth for them without having to go into the drop down here. You can also shut some of these if you don't need them. So that's another easy way to do things. You can also delete some of these from the list if you don't want those, but not all of them can be deleted. Only kind of the more custom intervals. But then you can also add your own custom intervals by clicking that up there. So you can add custom minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and ranges. You can't do decimals, but let's say you wanted to add a 4 minute. Oh, I've already got that in there. Let's say you wanted to add a 6 minute interval. So you can add that right there, and then you can add it to your favorites and it'll pop in there. Or you can just go ahead and delete some of them if you don't need them at all. So we have tick charts, which I'll go ahead and show you what a 1 tick chart looks like. This is going to be one individual trade. So if I placed a buy order, that's each one right there. Each time that thing moves, that's one order. You can see how a bunch of them came in real quick there. It's because multiple traders placed orders at that time. So in this, if you go into the data window here, all you get is a close value. You don't get the open, high, low, and close because it's just 1 tick. So that's the price that trade was executed at. Now, if we go to, let's say, a 10 tick chart, then these are going to be candles that represent 10 trades. Okay, so say for this candle, for example, that's the open, and here's the close, here's the high. The low is the same as the close, but that means that 10 trades happened within this range right here. So there's no time attached to that, like the second, minute, daily, hourly charts, stuff like that. This is all based off of how many trades took place. So you can see these are moving pretty quick here because it's, price is falling pretty fast. But then you can also see down here at the bottom that the time frames look a little weird and weird gaps in them. That's just because it's going off of 10 trades per bar. Now you can change that to 100 ticks, 1,000 ticks, but you cannot make custom tick intervals. But that's how that works. Now if we go to the 1 second chart, you can see a lot more gaps here. And that's just, however many, it could have been 5 trades that took place in this 1 second bar right there, or it could be 1 trade that took place there. So that's how you get with second data. Tick data is going to be more useful if you're tracking things like order flow, because then it's going to give you exactly what happened on every single trade. Whereas on a second chart, there could be multiple trades that happened within a second. So you're not going to know exactly what happened or what orders exactly took place. That could look like, let's say if this one had a volume of 50, but there was 3 trades, that could have been, 1 48 order or 48 volume order and 2 single volume orders. But on a tick, you would know that each individual tick, whatever the volume says, is exactly how large that individual order was. So that can be very useful for order flow, whereas second data won't be as reliable for order flow. But otherwise, those charts do move very quickly. So you're going to have to be on your toes if you're doing any type of that trading at, second and tick interval charts. But otherwise, I personally trade the 1 to 5 minute chart most of the time. So let's go back in here and take a look at these. They offer all of these different time frames. Again, you can favorite them to add them to the menu, or you can delete some of these more custom time frames. open and close some of these if you don't really use them. And now let's talk about range charts. So a range is going to be the minimum tick of a chart. So right now we're on NQ, and the minimum tick goes by, if you look over here at the price when I move, these are going to be 25-cent intervals. Because this is a $25,000 asset, each 25-cent movement is an interval, or considered a tick, minimum tick. So if we go to a range chart, one range means one tick. So price moved 25 cents. Now, if we go to a 10 range, then that means 10 minimum ticks, which at 25 cents, that would be $2.50. So this isn't going to take into account time whatsoever. But it will only take into account, okay, where did this price start and end when it made a 10 tick move, which is $2.50 because 10 times 25 cents. So this is kind of an interesting one because it removes time from the equation here, which you can see from the timing here. They're kind of weird gaps in between each one. Very interesting way to trade. And you can also switch this between, if you go to your chart settings, between bars, which are going to look like this. And that's going to give you an open and close value. Open value on the left of the line, close value on the right of the line. And then this is going to be the entire range that it did. So like this one opened here, moved down here, and then reached its 250 movement from here to there, right there at that point. And now you can also change this back to candles if you would like and have the same data, but just with candles instead of the range bars. So that's an interesting one. And that one you can do custom intervals on. So if we wanted to do a range of like 47, we can do that. And then that just automatically calculates it for us on that. So that would be 47 times 25 cents would be each one of these bars. So I hope that helps. Again, I would just stick to these regular ones unless you're going to do ranges. But these are the most useful time frames that the majority of traders are using. This 1 tick, 1 second, 5 second, 15 second. Those are typically for just pulling, data. If you're using indicators such as order flow indicators that pull data from lower time frames, you might want to use those. But otherwise, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly are going to be the main charts that are going to give you the most realistic price movements, because those are the ones that are used the most by traders as well as hedge funds and algorithms and all that. So I would just stick to those and then just keep the ones that you want by favoriting them. Hope that helps. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop it below. Thanks.